Hi, I'm Jay Allen from My TrueNORTH, the UK's ethical coaching company. And in this brief video, I wanted to talk to you about training versus reality. You see, most of you are already aware that in my first profession, I was a soldier in the army, as you can see from behind me. And we spent a lot of time, probably about 85–90% of our time, either on exercise or in the classroom, learning scenarios, exercising them through. So in actual fact, when we put them into reality, that we knew what was going to happen. And that's probably why that the British Army is still renowned as one of the most professional fighting forces in the world. We were able to react effectively as a body of people under any circumstances in a professional manner that we knew the expected outcomes. But how does that relate to business? Well, you see, it does concern me somewhat that the amount of times that people are understanding of the needs to be able to provide some form of onboarding process, some form of probationary period where we actually provide some training and experience and support to people as they come into the business. But not everyone does it. So many people will look at a CV and see that it says Microsoft Word experience and assume that that means that they can use the documents in the way that we want them to be used. That when it says PowerPoint experience, that they can create a really great and sales-driven presentation and know how to be able to present that to them, to a body of people. That we see that it says that they've got 10 years experience in sales and therefore we automatically assume that they're going to be able to sell our products the way that they've said in their CV how they've increased turnover in a different business or a different industry. There's too many assumptions made with regards to people's ability. And then ironically, once they're in the business and we've given them some probationary training for the first 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks of the business, then we just leave them to get on with it. About this, instead of understanding the need for continual personal, professional development. Now, as a business owner, I'm assuming that by the very fact that you're willing to watch this video at all means that you understand the importance of professional development, of being able to learn from outside of the business and implement what we learn into our business. But are you implementing that within your staff? Are you making sure that everyone on your team understands the importance of being able to improve themselves? Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that in any business we have the opportunity, just like the army, to be able to spend 90% of our time exercising to ensure that we know exactly what people are going to do in the 10% that we're actually operating in. That's just not possible. But I do think it's vitally important that we take some lessons from the most professional fighting body in the world and understand how we can implement that in our own business. And that often means being able to take people outside of the comfort zone of what they normally do and put them into an exercise scenario that what if? What if a key member of staff was unable to attend works tomorrow? Would everybody else know what to do and how to respond? What happens if the building isn't available? A number of my clients are in East Yorkshire, which in January, February this year flooded. And they ended up having to work from alternative premises, where we had to test contingency planning quite significantly to determine whether people had done all the backups that they should have done, whether people remembered to take the laptops home as they've been instructed to and not leave them tucked under the desk. It's always important to be able to understand that we need to test the resilience of our business if we want our business to be able to be resilient. It's a changing world out there. Things are happening on a day-to-day, week-to-week, hour-to-hour basis sometimes that could have a detrimental effect to us if we're not able to be flexible enough to be able to move with the circumstances that we are presented with, both internal and externals to our own business. Things are happening right now that could put you and your growth at risk unless you've considered the what-ifs. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that you spend the next 25, 30 years coming up with scenarios and contingencies, but I am suggesting that in order for your business to survive, it does have to have a certain amount of resilience in it and staff that are able to be flexible enough to ensure that we can move with whatever's happening. So please, come up with a whole series of different things or thoughts. Make sure that all of your team are aware of exactly what's needed to be done. Make sure that your business Bible's up to date and that you've got an ongoing systems and processes that are documented as to what's happening and where and when and how. That we've got whiteboards on the walls that tell us about the progress that we're making in each individual area of the business, and that somebody else knows what to do in case that they're not able to be there the following morning. That not one job is ever owned by one person, but is owned by a team of people and managed by one person, in order that everybody else understands exactly what's happening should the inevitable at some stage happen. Please make sure that you consider the resilience in your business and then starts to put it to the test, just a little bit at a time, and find out as to what would happen if. Because it's a flexible business. It's a business that's got the strength to be able to move and shape and respond. That is the business that's going to be able to get over the start line, get over the finish line, gets to the end goal quicker than the business that is so rigid in its manner of doing things that it becomes like a dinosaur and becomes extinct along the times. And we've seen so many businesses along our histories together that determine that they stuck so rigidly to what they thought was the right thing and didn't see the next thing coming. You've only got to look at Kodak. Kodak's a brilliant example that they never considered until it was too late the impact digital cameras was going to have on film. And by the time they came to the party, it was too late. And as a result, a huge big industry in the UK disappeared by the wayside, and now tries to reclaw some of that. Far too late to the party. So please make sure that you've got the resilience in your business, that all of your members of staff understand the importance of personal professional development, that you share ideas collectively in the business and they are documented and the business Bible's up to date, to ensure that whatever comes from outside, we have the sustainability within it to be able to ride the tide, ride the rough times, and be able to go through and be victorious. If you've not already watched the video that I've done on reverse triage, then I strongly recommend that you consider watching that also. And if you want to know a little bit more about how we at My TrueNORTH, the ethical coaching company, help business owners just like you to be able to make significant, sustainable, transformational growth in your businesses, then please feel free to get in touch. www.mytruenorth.biz. Alternatively, drop us an email and one of us would love to be able to have a conversation with you. Simply email inquiries@mytruenorth.biz. I look forward to speaking to you soon.